What if I told you that a woman may already be showing you exactly how she feels, but in ways so quiet and subtle that most men never recognize them? Right now, there could be someone in your life giving off emotional signals so delicate and layered that you walk past them without realizing what she is truly trying to express. Pause for a moment and really take this in. If you have ever wondered whether a woman wants to let you closer emotionally, mentally, and deeply within her inner world, then this conversation may finally give you the clarity you have been missing. And stay until the end, because there is one important truth most men never hear before they make a move that changes everything. Before we continue, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss these deeper conversations about attraction, emotional psychology, and human connection. What you are about to learn is not surface-level advice. This is about understanding the emotional world women rarely reveal openly. Most women do not announce attraction directly. They do not walk up and confess what they feel in clear words. Instead, attraction leaks out through behavior, through tiny emotional openings, through reactions that happen beneath conscious control. A woman who feels drawn to you emotionally will begin changing around you in ways she often cannot fully explain. Her body language softens, her tone becomes gentler, her energy shifts in subtle ways she tries to hide behind confidence, humor, or distance. And here is what most men never understand. A woman does not emotionally open herself to just anyone. When she begins lowering her guard, it is because something about you creates a feeling inside her she cannot ignore. It might be emotional safety, it might be curiosity, it might be the calmness of your presence. It might even be a connection she cannot logically explain. This is not only about physical attraction, it is about the deeper emotional energy she shares only with a man she trusts enough to reveal her softer side to. Once you understand these hidden patterns, it feels as if someone finally turned on the light in a room you have been stumbling through for years. So take a breath, forget confusion, forget overthinking, forget trying to guess whether she is simply being polite or whether she actually feels something more. Let's step into the emotional psychology behind female attraction and the quiet signals women hope the right man will notice. Because when a woman wants you closer, she rarely says it directly. Instead, she allows the truth to slip through tiny behaviors she hopes you will understand without forcing her to expose herself emotionally. Her walls do not suddenly disappear overnight. They soften slowly, they bend, they flicker. And those small flickers are exactly what most men overlook. Men often expect obvious signs, loud confessions, dramatic flirting, or direct statements. But female attraction at a deeper emotional level does not usually arrive with noise. It whispers, but her body language reveals the truth anyway. She becomes unusually aware of your presence. She notices when you walk into a room. She notices where your attention goes. She notices when your energy changes. Even if she pretends not to care, her emotional awareness of you becomes impossible to hide. Another powerful signal appears when your attention shifts towards someone else. She may not show jealousy openly. Especially emotionally intelligent women often hide it well, but subtle changes appear. Her energy drops slightly. Her tone softens. She withdraws for a moment. Not because she wants control, but because emotional attachment makes your attention matter more than she expected. Women rarely react this way unless they are emotionally opening themselves to a man. She also begins seeking your approval in small but meaningful ways. She puts more care into how she looks before seeing you. She pays closer attention to your reactions. She hopes you notice details about her, not because she is insecure, but because connection naturally creates emotional awareness. When a woman respects and desires a man emotionally, she becomes more intentional with the energy she brings into his presence. And perhaps the most important sign of all is emotional openness. When she starts sharing her real thoughts without filtering everything. When she tells you about her fears, her dreams, her struggles, her private thoughts, that is one of the clearest signals a woman can give, because emotional access is deeply personal. Women do not hand it out casually. When she allows you into those hidden parts of her inner world, she is quietly telling you something powerful. She trusts your presence. She feels emotionally safe around you. And somewhere inside herself, she is beginning to imagine what it would feel like to let you closer. This is why understanding female psychology matters. Not so you can manipulate anyone, not so you can force attraction, but so you can finally recognize what women often struggle to say openly. Many women fear emotional rejection. They fear exposing their feelings too early. So instead of confessing directly, they offer signals, subtle invitations, quiet emotional openings, and the right man notices them. He does not panic. He does not chase desperately. He simply becomes present enough to recognize what is already being offered. Because attraction is rarely about saying the perfect thing, it is about emotional awareness. It is about recognizing the unspoken. It is about understanding the energy behind the behavior. And when you begin seeing these signals clearly, relationships stop feeling confusing. You stop second guessing yourself. You stop chasing certainty. You start understanding the emotional language women naturally speak. A woman who wants you emotionally will not always say it directly, but her attention will change. Her openness will change. Her presence around you will change. And once you know how to recognize those changes, you will never look at attraction the same way again. The deeper truth is this: women are not looking for perfection. They are looking for emotional steadiness, presence, safety, awareness, a man who notices the quiet details without forcing anything, a man who understands energy, not just words. And when a woman feels emotionally understood at that level, she naturally begins lowering the walls she keeps around almost everyone else. So the next time a woman softens around you, remembers small details about you, mirrors your energy, becomes vulnerable in quiet ways, or pays closer attention to your emotional state, do not dismiss it. Those moments matter. Those are not random behaviors. Those are emotional signals, and sometimes they are the beginning of something much deeper than either of you expected. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Intimate Psychology for more conversations about emotional intelligence, attraction, and the hidden psychology behind human connection. And before you leave, comment the word awareness below if you are ready to stop missing the signals women quietly give every day. There comes a point in a woman's emotional world where attraction stops feeling like curiosity and starts becoming instinctive. You notice it not through direct words, but through the freedom she begins allowing herself around you. One of the clearest signs is that she no longer stays in one emotional mode with you. Some days she is soft, affectionate, and warm. Other times she becomes playful, teasing, sarcastic, or unexpectedly energetic. That emotional range is not confusion, it is comfort. A woman only reveals multiple sides of her personality when she secretly hopes a man will appreciate the full complexity of who she truly is. Another hidden signal appears in proximity. She begins placing herself near you naturally, not close enough to make it obvious, but close enough to feel your presence. She chooses the seat beside you when other spaces are available. She stands near you longer than necessary. She leans slightly closer while speaking, even when there is no reason to. That is psychology. Women instinctively move closer to the men who make them feel emotionally safe and internally drawn in. You will also notice her laughter changing around you. It becomes freer, more effortless, less guarded. She laughs longer with you than with other people because around you she allows herself to emotionally relax. That relaxed laughter is not only attraction, it is emotional surrender. Her nervous system feels calm enough to let go. Then come the subtle emotional tests. Not manipulative tests, clarifying tests. She asks deeper questions about your values, your mindset, your goals, your boundaries, and the way you handle life. She is not interrogating you. She is trying to understand whether your emotional depth matches the safety and attraction she feels. When a woman becomes curious about your inner world instead of only surface conversation, she is imagining what emotional closeness with you could actually feel like. And one of the most overlooked signs of all is influence. Not control, influence. She starts considering your advice, remembering your suggestions, trying things you casually mentioned before. A woman only allows influence from a man she respects deeply. It means she admires your perspective and quietly imagines you having a meaningful place in her life. At a certain stage, her emotions begin moving faster than her logic. And when that happens, she starts revealing attachment in ways she may not even consciously notice. One of the strongest signs appears through consistency. She begins sharing pieces of her daily life with you regularly, small updates, random moments, tiny frustrations, little victories, Things that would seem insignificant to everyone else suddenly become things she wants to share with you. This is emotional integration. Without announcing it, she is slowly weaving you into the rhythm of her everyday life. Another major signal is emotional sensitivity. She becomes highly aware of your mood. If your energy shifts, she notices. If something feels wrong, she senses it before you say anything. She checks on you not because she has to, but because your emotional state begins mattering to her. A woman only develops this kind of emotional awareness around a man she feels deeply connected to. You will also notice how sharply she remembers details about you. Things you barely remember mentioning yourself, your favorite snack, a childhood memory, something stressing you out, a goal you casually talked about late one night. That is not accidental. That is emotional prioritization. She stores those details because your inner world is becoming important to her. And then there is support, quiet support, the kind that reveals emotional investment. She encourages you when you doubt yourself. She reminds you of your strengths. She stands beside your perspective during conversations. She becomes emotionally grounding without demanding attention for it. Women do not emotionally invest like this in men they view as temporary. They do it when they feel something meaningful forming. Perhaps the deepest sign of all is vulnerability, not dramatic vulnerability, soft vulnerability. She admits she feels overwhelmed. She shares insecurities. She reveals emotional wounds she usually protects. That is not weakness. That is trust. A woman only exposes the fragile parts of herself when she hopes a man will hold them carefully instead of mishandling them. Then comes the stage where emotional synchronization begins. A woman who wants you deeply starts aligning herself with your emotional rhythm. She adapts naturally to your conversational pace, your style of thinking, and your emotional energy, not because she is pretending, because emotionally, she wants harmony with you. You may also notice she becomes more patient with you than she is with other people. She gives you her full attention. She listens carefully. She becomes more intentional with her presence because something inside her is quietly choosing you. Another hidden sign appears when she begins protecting the connection. She becomes more selective about who she talks to about you. She keeps certain moments between you private. She protects the emotional space forming between you because she sees value in it. A woman only guards a connection when she senses real emotional potential. But one of the deepest signals of all is how she starts allowing your perspective to shape her emotional world. She genuinely values what you think. She asks for your opinion because your insight matters to her. She becomes more open to growth because she sees you as someone who strengthens her emotionally rather than drains her. That level of emotional openness is rare. Women do not offer it casually. It is a quiet form of trust. And once a woman reaches that level, she is already imagining how deep the connection between you could become. Here is the truth most men only realize too late. When a woman reaches the point where she wants to fully let you into her life, she no longer feels temporary attraction. She feels certainty, a calm, steady pull rooted in trust, emotional safety, admiration, and connection. The deepest sign of all is this: she begins imagining you as part of her future, not as a passing presence, but as someone constant. She imagines your energy inside her daily life, your presence during difficult days, your voice in ordinary moments, your steadiness beside her when life becomes heavy. Women only allow themselves to emotionally imagine a future with a man when they feel deeply safe with him. And emotional safety has nothing to do with dominance. It comes from consistency, respect, emotional maturity, presence. She may even begin opening up about her fears around love itself, not to push you away, but to see whether you are emotionally capable of carrying the weight of her heart. She watches how you respond. Do you judge? Do you stay calm? Do you listen? Do you remain patient? Because when a woman truly wants to give herself emotionally to a man, she needs to know her vulnerability will not be mishandled. And here's the final sign many men completely overlook. She starts matching your effort naturally. She initiates conversations. She supports your growth. She protects the bond forming between you. Not because she has to, because it matters to her. That is the silent moment a woman emotionally chooses a man. And when you recognize these signs, the answer is not pressure, not rushing, not forcing certainty. The answer is emotional steadiness, presence, respect, maturity. Women are not searching for perfection. They are searching for a man who feels emotionally safe, grounded, aware, and sincere. If this message shifted something inside you, it means you are beginning to understand what women rarely say openly. So breathe deeply, stand taller, become the kind of man who notices what others miss. And if you want more conversations about emotional intelligence, attraction, and the hidden psychology of connection, subscribe to Intimate Psychology. Every insight you learn here helps you move through relationships with more clarity, confidence, emotional awareness, and quiet strength.